Love the smell of diesel fumes in the morning. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming back to the channel, the Rust Belt Mechanic, and here we're going to be talking all about lights, making everything brighter, making everything so you can actually see going down the road. As you can see here, I've got my 2006 LBZ Chevy truck. When I first got this truck, it had some really nasty lighting. It had some of those really cheapo tinted hard tint headlights. They don't look like a candlestick going down a road. So I upgraded the lenses. I did everything that I needed to, and I'm going to show you what I did. So here for the lenses, I ended up going with a full chrome set. I got these off Amazon, and I'll throw those here in a link there at the end of the video. But these things are nice and clear. I didn't really want them tinted. I didn't want the backlight black, anything like that. I wanted to see what I was looking at going down the road. I'm a stickler for that. I need to have it bright. And then I'm going to be talking about the bulbs that I've got inside. I upgraded every bulb in here, minus the parking lights, to full LEDs, even the fog lamps. So let's look at what I've got on that. I couldn't exactly decide what brand I wanted to do, and if anybody's been looking at these LED things online, it's really confusing. There's like 900 different brands, 150 different reviews of those brands. Everybody's always up and down, so I just went with a couple of different brands and versions so we can see, I don't know, what might happen with them. The lights that I bought, and I went off a lot of the reviews that I saw, and the main difference that I saw in these were not only the brightness, but they come with a fan on the back of the light, and the fan is the part that you have an issue with on these trucks. So you only have about 1.5 inches of backspace behind the headlight housing and the plastic backing that goes behind the headlight housing. So we needed to find a bulb that was, you know, really good, really bright, had a good review, and had a short fan housing. Some of the best reviews that I found to fit those qualifications were the Hikari brand. Those are the ones that I ended up putting in for my low beams. I was really impressed by those. They give a really nice beam. They don't have any real hot spots, nothing too bad in night. And then for my high beams, I ended up going with the aux beam. A couple of other YouTube guys have reviewed these on their Duramax trucks. I was also pretty impressed by these as well. The low beams though, they were the right deal for the right price. I only ended up spending about $49 on my low beams for the Hikaris, and I ended up spending about $69 on the set from aux beam for my high beams. I finished everything out by adding the LED bulbs to my fog lights and my DRLs. My fog lights, I'm kind of an Amazon whore, so I went ahead and ordered anything off of Amazon that fit my bill as well in those areas. I put the fog lights in. Those were from Alla Lighting, A-L-L-A Lighting, and my DRLs I put in, they were from Parts Am, also bought on Amazon. I'll be putting the links for those in the description down below as well. I know this is going to be a little bit of a crappy lighting test to show you what kind of results I'm getting from it, but there is a whole lot of difference that is in from the factory style bulbs to the LED ones that I got. The low beams, they're pretty nice. They've got a nice pattern. They're not blinding to other drivers. I drove these things down the road and they are not, I didn't get a single person blinding me, you know, flashing their lights at me going down the road. And then my fog lights, they just give a nice hue to the lower spectrum. I know you really can't see that because of the light coming in that door, but I didn't want those overpowering anyone else either. And then when I go to high beams, those are where the aux beams come in, and those things are crazy bright as well. I'm really impressed by those. Low beams and high beams. But, you know, it's not quite bright enough. So next I'm going to go over an extra option that I'm adding on today to give me a little bit of extra brightness going down the road. I know everybody's heard about the 4 high mods, the 6 high mods, the 8 high mods for these Chevy trucks, but I am not one for shoving wires into the IPM putting diodes in. It's something that just creates a whole lot of areas to go wrong down the road. I'm all about reliability, and I've went with a couple of products, and I ended up going with this from Fleece Performance. I ended up getting this all lights on module from Fleece Performance. It's going to be really easy to install. It only costs about 19 or 20 bucks online, and it only takes a couple of minutes to install. To be able to go through this, we're going to show you what you do. It's going to be one of the simplest things that we've ever put in here. You're going to pop your hood. We're going to need to go around front here and get into the fuse panel, which is right over here. Fuse panel's right over here. We're going to pop my fuse panel box off and have a look in here. Everything's stock in here. I don't have any wires hanging out anywhere or anything like that. So we're going to be able to get a fresh, nice, easy install. How we're going to do this, these 4 relays right here are going to be your high beams, low beams, fogs, and DRLs. It's going to split the fuse in here and use a grounding part for this ground strap right here. So I've already removed 3 of the relays. This is the 4th one. These relays are all universally fit. You can't mess up putting them in. There's only 4 pins. They can go in forwards, they can go in backwards. It doesn't matter. They're going to work. In a couple minutes, I'll go over what a relay actually does for these lighting things to show you how they work, not just, oh, let's pop this 5-minute piece in. Here's the piece we're going to be putting in, and as you can see, just like a perfect little puzzle piece, it fits in to the fuse panel right there. And it fit right into place, and now we're going to replace all of our relays. 1, 2 of them. 3, and then 4. That was that easy of an install. So now with our Fleece all lights on module installed, we're going to show you how much brighter this really is. We've got our low beams on, our fogs on, and then when we switch our high beams, now that is some bright lights. And I'm not one to be able to use my brights going down the interstate. The only time I'm going to use my brights is when I'm going off-road or I'm going down a long winding road where there's nobody out in the middle of the night. So as you can see here from the front of the truck, they are crazy bright. That's going to be able to light everything up in the middle of the night. So earlier on in the video, I told you I wasn't only going to show you how to install that module, but I'm going to show you also how a relay works. So if you need to install some kind of external relay down the road, you're going to know how. Every relay is essentially the same. There are 4 pins in a standard relay. Doesn't matter if it's this size or it's this bigger size. It's the same general purpose. 4 pins. There are labeled 30, 87, 85, and 86. You will see this as a standard deviation on every single relay that has ever been made. So how it works is you have your control side and you have your power side that actually powers what you're going to light or turn on. The whole idea behind it is to use a small circuit to control a large amperage circuit, so you're not burning up wires in that sense. Your 30 and 87 are going to be your big powered wires. 30 is the pin that is always going to be powered. That's the one that you power straight from the battery. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's how you do it the correct way. 87 is going to be going to your device, the thing that you want to turn on, the thing you want to light. That's gonna go to. 85 and 86 are going to be your control side wires. Obviously, you're going to have to power one and ground one and switch it on either one of those sides. When those two make contact, the solenoid, the really tiny little control solenoid inside of here, pulls an arm over, an aperture arm, which will then connect the 30 and 87 pins, which will in turn turn on your light or device. The simplest and easiest way to hook up your control side is your 85. I usually hook that one to power. Just a small 10 amp fused circuit is all you need to power this. It is just a really tiny amperage. You could even have a 5 amp circuit. It's not going to really make that big of a difference. Really tiny amperage circuit. And then your ground side is what I usually connect to a switch. So I'll run a wire into my cab to a switch, and then on the other side of the switch I will just be able to connect that to an eyelet of any kind of ground source. Since it's a whole lot easier to find a ground source inside of my cab, that's what I want to make it easy to hook up to a switched source inside my cab. So how all of that incorporates into this Fleece circuit, you have circuitry that with diodes that connect your 85 sides of all of your pins together. Not your DRLs, but your low beams, your high beams, and your fogs. So when that high beam circuit is turned on, it will feed to the control sides of the 85 pins to give them their completed circuit of their control sides. In turn, that will turn on both your lows and your fogs at the same time, in which the circuitry of your standard box is going to turn those off when somebody connects it to flips on your high beams. Well, that just about does it for today and all the information that I can give you. I hope you guys were just a little bit enlightened on the subject. I had a lot of fun doing this. It's a cheap, easy mod that anybody can do to their truck, and it's something that you need to do to yours. If you guys enjoyed my videos, I'd love to keep making more. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button. I'm going to keep on working on cars, and I'm going to keep you guys entertained for a long time here to come. Thanks for stopping by the channel.